When I was a little boy, a cute little boy, like 6, I had dreams. But now I have other dreams. My dreams have changed. What is something that you wish you had or could do? Perhaps you want to visit some cool place in the world. Maybe you have a bucket list. One of those things is to visit some exotic place somewhere in the world. Or maybe you want to reconcile with someone that you have been distanced from. Or maybe you want to win the lottery, like some of us do lately. When I was about 6 years old, I had dreams. I remember wanting to be a soccer player, a professional soccer player. I wanted to be like Messi, not like Cristiano Ronaldo. Oh, some of you play soccer. But that was a joke. Cristiano is okay, but I wanted to be like Messi. Actually, they didn't exist yet, but if they did, I would have to be like Messi. Another dream I had was I wanted to be a priest. That dream came true. Now I'm living the dream. It's a beautiful dream. And I'm loving it, as one of the fast food restaurants said. I actually am loving it. And in fact, 7 years ago, exactly today, was my first time I ever preached. Because 7 years ago, on September 28th, it was my ordination as a deacon at the Basilica of St. Peter's. It was a really beautiful morning. We were all getting ready. We were all excited, my classmates and myself. And I was doing morning prayer in one of the little side chapels in St. Peter's Basilica. It was about 9. And there was a window in the little chapel through which the sunlight came through. And it was just really beautiful. I could see the rays of the sun. It seemed like there were clouds. It seemed like I was dreaming. It was surreal. My dream was coming true. And who would have thought I was going to be ordained in St. Peter's Basilica? Not even in my wildest dreams. There was a beautiful day. And then the next day, we were going to celebrate Mass at a church there in Rome, Sant'Andrea del Frate, or St. Andrew of the Brothers. And the bishop was going to celebrate the Mass with other priests and the people who came from the Diocese of Yakima. And it was the first time I was going to serve as a deacon, along with my brother, priest now, Father Cesar. So we were going to serve for the first time as deacons. Usually, when there's a deacon newly ordained, he preaches on the first Mass he serves. But since there was 2 of us, I asked Father Cesar now, I said, so did the bishop say who's preaching? Are you preaching? Because we can't preach at the same time, because it's going to be too long. And he said, oh yeah, I'm preaching. So it was the 29th of September, we were getting ready to go out and celebrate Mass. And as we were leaving the sacristy, the bishop said, so Father Cesar has his homily printed out and everything. What are you going to preach about? And I was like, no, he's preaching. And he said, no, both of you are preaching. I said, oh no, he betrayed me. Because he told me he was preaching. And I hadn't even read the Gospel of the day. I just knew it was Feast of the Archangels, which is today. It's a cool day, too. So then, it was really hard. I was panicking. I didn't even enjoy the first part of Mass. I was just trying to come up with something cool to say. And I thought that was going to be the hardest thing I ever did as a preacher, as a deacon or a priest. But exactly 7 years later, here I am. And this is the hardest thing I've ever done, preached on, especially with the readings that we have today. Maybe I could just say, if you don't pledge, you go to hell. And then we'll be done. Because that's what the readings are kind of saying today. They're very, very strong readings. But that's not what I want to talk about. It's not, and that's not true either. Nobody's it's hardly anybody goes to hell, actually. Well, I'll tell you the secret later, but that's a different story. So here we are today. Now, I had a different dream than when I was a little boy. One of my dreams came true. I didn't quite become a professional soccer player. I just became a bocce ball champion with my senior record. Which you should sign up, by the way. And you know, when the St. Peter's Basilica is still there, it was built, they started building it under Julius II, Pope Julius II, in 1504. And it was finished in like 100 years later, in 1615 under Pope Paul V. When Julius II started building it, they thought he was crazy. They thought he was out of his mind, trying to build that huge, beautiful basilica. And it's still there as a sign of hope. The biggest church in the world, the greatest, the most beautiful church in the world, a lighthouse of hope to the world. It's still there. All those people who invested in that church are looking down from heaven and saying, I helped in building that church. So I dreamed today, the dream I want to share with you is that I want to, along with Senior Edgar and our bishop, is to revive the old school building, rise a lighthouse of hope. Just today, actually, there was somebody who came to talk to me after the 11 a.m. Mass, just out here in the courtyard. Somebody who just moved into the neighborhood. They were just walking around on the intersection of 16th and Yakima Avenue, and they saw this huge white building. And they said, I wonder what that is. I want to go check it out. He was looking for a church. So he came, and lo and behold, and there he saw the tower. And he said, cool, found a church. Looks like a Catholic church. So he came to Mass. We already have a huge building there. We have a white building, which is now we can transform it into a lighthouse of hope. A lighthouse of hope and of authentic Christian formation. In today's gospel, we hear that if anybody gives you a cup of water because you belong to Christ, that person will not remain without your water. Can you imagine how much more blessed you will be investing in building the kingdom of God, investing in the treasures of heaven, in rising this lighthouse of hope and of authentic Christian formation, that its only purpose is Christ. That's the only purpose of that building. Once we bring it back to life, the only purpose will be Christ. That is my dream. But my dream specifically related to that is that we finish it, we achieve our capital campaign goal before Monsignor Edgar's birthday, and give it to him as a birthday present. We don't have much time to let it early. It's March 18th. That would be a cool birthday present, I think. That would be cool. So far, we are still in the first phase of the building. After we're done, it also include the cathedral offices will move to the ground floor over there. And all the other ministry groups, like the youth group, the choirs, the resurrection group, the knights, all those groups will have their own space to meet. The fourth floor will also, where all the rooms are, will also be done. And those rooms will, in the different phase, will see if it fits on this next phase, but eventually they will also be fixed up, renovated, so that we can have retreats there for our youth and also adults. The second floor will be classrooms that will be shared with St. Martin's University, and actually St. Martin's University will offer a bachelor's degree through here in religious studies. That's our dream. This dream will be done. I promise that it will get done. Because the will of God gets done always. The will of God always gets done. Just like the sun rises every day, just like the time passes, just like the water flows through the river, that's how the will of God gets done. The will of God is also manifested to us through our vicars, through our pastors. The bishop is all in, he's our pastor. Monsignor Edgar is also all in, he's our pastor. God is manifesting his will through them. And that will, and the will of God will be done, with or without us. But it is also our obligation as baptized Catholic Christians to build the kingdom of God and not just sit back and watch. It is our responsibility to help the evangelization of the world, especially our community and our parish. So rather than looking at these as a burden or a challenge, I see it as an opportunity to fulfill our obligation as baptized Christians. I see it as an opportunity to cooperate with the will of God, to participate in the will of God, in rising a lighthouse of hope for our parish, for our city, and for the entire Central Washington, the territory of the Diocese of Yankee. This lighthouse of hope is inviting us to dance. Will you sit it out, or will you dance? This church, this cathedral church, and also the school building, they were gifted to us by our grandparents. None of us here gave a dime to build this church or the school building. They were given to us. We inherited them. Now it is an opportunity for us to honor our grandparents, those who built this, to honor the past by renovating it, bringing it back to life. And through this lighthouse of hope, we will continue to celebrate our present and to create the future through the many miracles that this light of hope, this lighthouse of hope will host. Just to finish my little, very profound and moving presentation, I just want to go over with you with some numbers. So far, we started work a year ago. So far, we spent $5.4 million. Out of those 5.4 million, 2.2 million were from insurance proceeds. St. Paul Cathedral has paid 1.7 million, and the diocese has paid 1.5 million. The diocese, the bishop, is all in this project. Monsignor Edgar and the cathedral, we're all in. We can now go back. This project will be done with or without us. But it is an invitation for us to participate in the will of God and to participate and to fulfill our obligation as baptized Christians. I also want to thank all of you for your future pledges if you haven't done it. And for all of those who have already pledged, last weekend we had 91 new pledges, 91 new benefactors, with that totaled in $164,000 in pledges and $3,800 in one-time contributions. So thank you very much for your generosity, and also for your continued prayers for the success of this campaign. So I hope that you can dream with us. this is a crazy dream, but it's a beautiful dream. You know, the Wright brothers, when they were trying to invent the planes, people thought they were crazy. There was no way they could fly. Now, it's crazy to think life without planes. It's crazy to think to go to Europe without a plane, or to go to Mexico, or even out of state. I hope that you can dream with us, that you join us in this dream. Together we can achieve it sooner. Together we can give this dream as a reality for Monsignor on his birthday. That would be cool. I hope you never lose your sense of wonder. You continue to dream. I hope you get your fill to eat, but always keep that hunger. May you never take a single breath for granted. May you never take this church and our old school building for granted. God forbid love ever leave your empty-handed. And I promise you, you will get done. Please promise me that you will give this project a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out and dance, I hope you dance. Will you dance? You can dance right now too, but I hope that you really dance with us and dream with us. Now I'm just going to briefly go over these envelopes on your pews. Just in case you weren't here last weekend, we had a very, shall I say, very thorough presentation of these envelopes last weekend. And so I'm just going to go over this very briefly. We have the prayer card that we're going to need for the intentions. So please keep it handy. And then the pledge card. It looks like this, orange with little squares and rows of numbers on one side, and it's white on the other side. So on the table of numbers, it just shows us that it's a tool to help us to see how much we can sacrifice ourselves and give for this lighthouse of hope. So if you, for example, were able to give $100,000, your monthly payment for the next 3 years would be $2,777. If you win the lottery, you could give more than that. If you one of those returns too. Also, or if you go down on the road of the total pledge, there's a number of 3,600. If you were to pledge for 3 years, your payment would be of $100 a month. So after you go over this table of pledges, and hopefully it'll help you make the right number for you and your family. Then on the back, we have the two options, whether you want to pledge for 3 years or a one-time gift. So then you grab the pencil on there's pencils if you haven't filled it out, and if you filled one out already, you can always pledge again or do one-time gifts again. And that way we make Bishop look back on last weekend. So if you choose 3-year pledge or a one-time gift, then afterwards check the amounts you want to pledge or give. And if those amounts there are not good for you, you can always there's a blank space that you can fill out and fill it out with $500,000. If that one wasn't there, or maybe less. Then also mark whether you want to do it monthly, or annually, or quarterly, or a one-time gift. And also, then below that, there's a space for your information, where you put your name, your street address, your phone number, your email. If you don't know the envelope number, it's okay, don't worry about it. And then on the right side of the card, there's 5 options. You can check the first box if you're going to do it online. The second option, if you want to do it online but you need help. The third option, if you're interested in some tax advantage options. The Fourth option, if your employer can also match our pledges or pledge, sometimes they can do that. And if at this time you're not able to contribute, mark the last option that says you commit to pray for the success of our campaign. So thank you very much for your attention, for your patience with all of these. And I hope that you can also dream with us. I hope that you can dance with us in this beautiful and crazy dream that we have. And it will be done. I promise it will get done. So I'll give you a few minutes a couple of minutes for you to fill these cards out if you haven't done it. While our elite musicians, they play some beautiful music. Thank you so much.